Hi, it's Dr. Matthew Nussi from Brand New Weight Loss, and in this video we are going to discuss intermittent fasting. Is it effective at helping people lose weight? And if so, what is the ideal schedule? And again, we are specifically talking about intermittent fasting as it pertains to weight loss. And as always, I will leave links in the description box below for all of the ways that we help clients lose weight naturally and for life. All right, so let's first define what intermittent fasting actually is, because it is a very broad term that can encompass anything from not eating at all for multiple days to eating one very large meal every day to what we're going to focus on, which is simply restricting the time every day in which you eat. And this is really more accurately referred to as time-restricted eating. So we will use these terms kind of interchangeably. So if we just think of it from a human development standpoint, restricting the time that you eat in a day makes complete sense. So if we think of our ancestors thousands of years ago that did not have refrigerators, that did not have access to food all day long, they would have to get up, hunt, gather food, eat at specific times, and then potentially would not be able to eat or wouldn't eat for an extended period of time. So really, that is how the body is supposed to metabolize food in this shorter kind of time frame every day. All right, so if we look at a 24-hour day, the two most common ways of doing this intermittent fasting style of time-restricted eating would be a 16-hour fast and an 8-hour eating window, and an 18-hour fast and a 6-hour eating window. So let's first look at the 8-hour eating window and then the 16-hour fast. And we'll look at this research article, Effect of Time-Restricted Eating on Weight Loss in Adults with Type 2 Diabetes, a randomized clinical trial. So what this study did was it compared calorie counting to time-restricted eating. And what they found was this randomized clinical trial found that time-restricted eating diet strategy without calorie counting was effective for weight loss and lowering hemoglobin A1C levels compared with daily calorie counting in a sample of adults with type 2 diabetes. So next, let's look at research concerning 18-hour fasts with 6-hour eating windows. This study, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, titled Effects of Intermittent Fasting on Health, Aging, and Disease, states that evidence is accumulating that eating in a 6-hour period and fasting for 18 hours can trigger a metabolic switch from glucose-based to ketone-based energy with increased stress resistance, increased longevity, and a decreased incidence of diabetes, including cancer and obesity. So there's evidence that both styles of intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating, will help people lose weight. So what we have to do is use the science, use the data in combination with experience. In our case, experience helping thousands of clients over almost 2 decades lose and maintain weight, because what works in a research setting sometimes isn't what works best in real life situations. So we hate calorie counting, and we can glean from that first study that I quoted that calorie counting is not as effective as a long-term strategy as intermittent fasting is. And the reason for this is not that calorie counting cannot be effective in helping people lose weight, but it's because counting calories becomes a chore, becomes another job. It leads to a higher attrition rate. So some people can count calories, it works very well for them, but for the vast majority of clients that we have worked with, again, over almost 2 decades, it is much easier and much less of a chore just to shorten the time that they eat in a day rather than try to count every calorie for every food item that they put in their mouth. And going back to my original point, I don't believe that an 8-hour eating window really qualifies as time-restricted eating. This is just the normal way that a human body is supposed to consume and metabolize food. Unfortunately, in society today, we've gotten caught up in this, we need to eat all day long, so an 8-hour eating window seems like a restriction. And there's also some evidence that this 16-hour fast, 18-hour eating window doesn't really help people lose body fat. This study, the effectiveness of early time-restricted eating for weight loss, fat loss, and cardiometabolic health in adults with obesity, a randomized clinical trial, showed that the time-restricted eating intervention was more effective for losing weight, but did not affect body fat or the ratio of fat loss to weight loss. And we'll contrast this with a study regarding the 18-hour fast, 6-hour eating window. This study, titled Effect of Intermittent Fasting 18-6 on Energy Expenditure, Nutritional Status, and Body Composition in Healthy Adults. And their conclusion was that intermittent circadian fasting may lead to a decreased energy expenditure and a change in fat-free mass in healthy individuals. So the data seems to suggest that this 18-hour fast, 6-hour eating window style of time-restricted eating seems to work best for body fat loss. And that's what we've found in our experience as well. The 18 and 6 style seems to help best with hunger control. It helps keep the weight loss more regular, so people are seeing results almost on a daily basis, which keeps them motivated. And it has other health benefits, improved insulin sensitivity, and a decrease of preventable disease, including cancer risk. So in summary, the best style of intermittent fasting to lose weight and to make sure that you are losing body fat is an 18-hour fast and a 6-hour eating window. So obviously the when do you eat is only a piece of the puzzle. And although it's a big piece, we also need to think about what to eat, what you can take to make things easier, what to do when things aren't going quite right. All of these I've covered in other videos. All right, I hope this was helpful and straightforward. Until next time, everybody, stay happy, stay healthy, and I will catch everyone in the next video.